Jason Buttrill is with us. He is the main writer, researcher for the Glenn Beck television program, and he is also our national security expert. He was with Naval Intelligence for a long time and can tell us about a new audio tape that has come out of China, smuggled out of China, that apparently shows that they are preparing for an invasion of Taiwan. I've got several questions on this. First, Jason, why don't you bring everybody up to speed on what it is, what they're saying?
Well, so first, a quick little correction. You said Naval Intelligence. I'm about to invade your office because it was Marine Corps Intelligence.
Same thing. You're on boats.
Bigger.
Oh, my gosh. My apologies. My apologies to every Marine. I just said it to set him off. Go ahead.
So, yeah, this is like a council meeting of their war mobilization. So I want to make that clarification because this does appear to be legitimate. They are talking about a massive war mobilization effort on, basically this is theory crafting. What do we need to do? So where do we need to get conscripts? How do we retrofit ships to get the amount, which they're guessing in this meeting would take about 953 ships, which is oddly very specific. And they also talk about 140,000 soldiers. They're talking about private companies that need to be utilized. Yeah, I say private in air quotes, public-private companies.
Yeah, no, it's a partnership. It's a public-private partnership. It's what we'll be soon, but go ahead.
140,000 soldiers. Yeah, they just go on in very good detail. It goes on for about 56 minutes. I've looked at I've looked at all the names. I've matched up all the faces. These are real people. So this does appear to be legitimate. I do want to say, though, that they're just one part of this massive, structure within China that's looking at invading Taiwan. And make no mistake, that is invading Taiwan is a national security necessity for China. They will try it eventually. When is up to, interpretation. I think they're still very far off, at least 10 years off.
Right. Now, wait a minute. Hang on just a second. And I think anybody in the intelligence community, because I've talked to several of them, would agree with you that we're at least 5 years off, between 5 and 10. Is this different than what we do at the Pentagon? We should have a plan on, invading Canada in case they went crazy. That's what they should do, is have a plan for anything. Is that what this is?
Yes, I think that's what this is, but it has a little bit more teeth because, so when I was in the intelligence community, we did a lot of wargaming, for multiple different countries. So we had the plan in place if it would, we need it. I think the difference here is that this is their national. So if there's let's say that it was our national security imperative that we invade Cuba, and and everyone knew we were going to do it at some point. Well, then this would be a lot more, I guess, worrisome if there was something that leaked that showed that we were this far ahead in the planning.
Okay.
So that's a difference here. Like, they will do this soon. Well, they will do this in the future.
Yeah. So soon for the Chinese, which could be
right.
500 years away. Let me ask you the next obvious question. In a state that has total surveillance, and records of everybody's cell phone, what it's doing, where it's been, who smuggled this out? How did it get out? And is it intentionally let out?
Yeah. So I was kind of getting to this a little bit earlier, but there's multiple different factions that are looking at this. There's the war mobilization faction like this. They're all their job is to make sure that if we do this, we're prepared to do it. Now, there's the other factions within the Communist Party that are like, are you looking at the geopolitical perspective right now? Are you looking what's happening at Russia right now and Ukraine? We do not want to. We're trying to get our economy going the way it's been going for the past 10, 15, 20 years. That's not going to happen. That's a full stop. Everything they want to get done with Belt and Road. Can you imagine what happens to Belt and Road if what happens to Russia happens to them? It completely goes away. So there's those factions within the CCP that are like, wait a minute, let's take a step back. Yes, we agree we have to do this in the future, but this is not something that we can be thinking about in the near term.
Do you really think it goes? Do you really think that all goes away if they take Taiwan and somebody doesn't blow up the high tech plants? They control like 99% of every chip, and most importantly, the hardest chips to make. That's all in Taiwan. You really think that, countries fold all the time because they need something?
Yeah, and the issue with Taiwan, looking at the economic perspective, is it's almost mutually assured destruction. If you go after Taiwan, you're also, critically damaging the Chinese economy because they do a massive amount of business with Taiwan. It's almost like an Achilles heel that kind of shoves this invasion way down the line because China's just not ready for it right now. They don't have a purely, domestic economy. It's purely based off of exports, to the United States and massive amounts from Taiwan. So they're just not ready. I do believe the United States. I don't think that they can take Taiwan, and not as long as the United States Navy is what it is in the Pacific. I do not believe they can do it. And look at these numbers that they're talking about: 140,000 soldiers, over 20 airfields and docks, 953 ships. That is look at the mobilization that happened in Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah.
We were able to see that, months ahead of schedule.
Right.
This amount of mobilization, they're going to start 6 months later. They'll be ready. So what's going to happen once this starts going down? The United States Navy is going to push massive amounts of hardware, multiple fleets into that area.
If we have the fuel.
Everything off.
If we have the fuel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.